Good morning, everyone. We have quite a big crowd today. But we have very important people in particular, okay, that's persistent to, that's related to what we want to discuss today, okay? Originally, I thought I'd have some people come up and speak Dharma to you. But since I see today's attendance, participants, I figure there's a topic I'd like to discuss because I might take advantage of your particular expertise, a particular experience, or particular personal interest. Okay? I'd like to today to talk about the topic of discipline. Why? Why does it relate to meditation? If you read Master Xu Yun's teaching, training of meditation of Chan, then you see that he says, in order for you to meditate, to train yourself in meditation, you need to have consistency. You need to have discipline, meaning that you have to do it regularly. Okay? Just like everything else. Whether you want to train your body, build up your muscles, build up your endurance, you need to go to the gym and regularly, 2 or 3 times a week, to train your muscles, to increase your stamina through jazzercise or kickboxing or whatever what they have nowadays, whatever, Pilates maybe. You need to do it regularly. So what that's Master Xu Yun refers to as perseverance maybe, okay? I call it discipline. Because perseverance is part of discipline. Consistency is part of discipline, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? And so today, I'd like to talk about, if you want to improve your meditation, you need to have the discipline. If you have any real meditation skills at all, which I'm not saying you do, okay? Then you realize the importance of meditating regularly every day. Okay, this is a skill. This is something that's even more important to me than more important to you, to all of us, than even going to the gym. Going to the gym, you need to do it 2 or 3 times a week, no more, because otherwise. It gives your body a chance to adjust, your muscle to recover from the wear and tear from the physical exercise. Okay, you need time for the body to adjust. Similarly, in meditation, you meditate and you increase the next level. Usually, your body needs time to adjust as well. Why is that? Does anyone know? Let's say you're at this level, this samadhi level, and you increase to the next level. Okay, you need some time to adjust for that. Why? It's physical. Every time you make a leap, every time you increase, okay, your chi flows stronger. Okay, meaning. You go through actual physical changes. Actually, your body physically changes. It becomes more resilient, becomes stronger, and becomes healthier, less sick. Okay? And therefore, the body during that phase, initial phase, when you go to one level, samadhi level to the next level, the body gets tired, gets has a lot of, it generates more heat, and it works faster. Your mind is faster, works faster, and therefore physically your body needs time to adjust to the new pace. Okay, so far so good? Is that what your experience has been? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay? So, but typically when we train our students in meditation, we highly recommend you meditate every day, regardless. Okay? I remember when I was practicing and I realized I made a leap, and if you practice long enough, you begin to see it yourself. Then, personally, I knew, because I was prepared to make a leap. So I prepare myself to leap, and then I train myself to leap, and I recognize myself when I made a leap. So it's just a self-training process I went through when I meditated by myself, because I had no one to guide me. So I was well researched, I was well prepared for it, I was ready for it, to practice on my own. For most people, like the monk who came last week, and we brought him to the TV station to record the show for the Vietnamese, because I wanted to share, ask him to share his cultivation experience with the Vietnamese. Because his cultivation experience is critical, very important. I recognize the way he talked about it, that his experience is for real. It's not from the books. It's not available in the books. So I asked him to go and share, and a few of the people came to listen to it, to listen to the live show. Because I asked him, I said, what did you do? What did you do to get where you are today? And he's a high-level Sangha, a Thai monk, who came last Saturday and to visit us for the first time, and I really enjoyed meeting with him. It's a pleasure again, because I like his being so genuine the whole time. I have yet to meet a high-level Sangha who's genuine, to be honest with you. I met only a few monks and nuns. I like them because they're genuine. There's nothing affected about this monk. He's a very high-level Sangha. He has a lot compared to us. And yet, he's so spontaneous, so at ease, so natural, more so than the so-called Mahayana accomplished monks I met. That's why I like this monk so much. I admire him so much. And so he told me, he shared with us what he did, okay, in his cultivation, his various cultivation experience. And I recognize that those are real experiences. That's why I brought him a TV station to share with Vietnamese. And I wanted to record it and broadcast and then put on our website so that people can refer to it. You folks, when you want to go into retreat and you want to cultivate seriously, you have to listen to the TV shows and the recording we had last Saturday, because it contains very, very important cultivation information. Okay? So it's a gift, it's a very generous gift he made to all of you. All right? So what this high-level Sangha here, when he first started to cultivate, that he went through 3 phases. Okay? The first phase is to follow his teacher the first 5 years. Every day. Every single day, his teacher taught him for 5 years, the first 5 years. And then the next 5 years, he allowed him to go into a cave to study, to practice by himself. Okay? And what's critical is that he says he would run into trouble. He didn't know what to do. So he would go back and ask his teacher for instructions. And he came back to the cave and meditated again. You see, this is what's supposed to happen when you train, when you cultivate. And we have the blessings to cultivate under a teacher. The people, the Vietnamese and the Chinese, many Chinese and Vietnamese and many Cambodian, many Thai people, they practice and they read from the biographies of the great monks and so on, and they only read about part of the process they went through. That is, they said, so many monks and nuns, myself included, when I first started, we thought the ideal, the real manly thing for monks and nuns or true cultivators to do is to go to the mountain, go find a hut and meditate. Okay, that's wrong. You cannot do that. If you do that, you fail miserably. And sure enough, these people who follow that model fail miserably. Okay, they give up. They get nowhere. Okay, so this monk here, he did. I'm going to share with you the importance of these phases. First phase, follow your teacher. He'll make sure you have the proper views. That's why the first 5 years are so important. When you join, when you start a new practice, you have all these prejudices. You have all these erroneous beliefs, okay, that you don't know about. Okay, and then the teacher has to help you undo those. It takes 5 years. That's what the Buddha says. The first 5 years you study precepts. Okay? Precept has a way of cleansing all these erroneous views. Or your teacher in particular will help you. Okay? Get rid of those. Next 5 years, you meditate. Then you have the foundation to meditate. Okay? And when you meditate, you run into all kinds of problems. You're supposed to. You meditate like these meditation group, a real famous one, up in Northern California, founded by an Caucasian ex-Thai monk. Okay? He's very famous. Every Saturday, every time they have a meditation class, it's a few hundred people come and attend. And they sit in chair, they sit whatever way they sit. And they have a chapter at Berkeley Monastery. I went there. 80 people show up every Wednesday night, every Thursday night. And they're psychologists, they are professionals. They go there and they meditate. And they do it religiously. And they at the end, I would go there. I was there a couple of times. I participated a couple of times. I observed them. And you see these people being very happy every time they meditate. Okay, this is what interests people. But if you meditate and you practice properly, you should have problems. You should not feel that good all the time. Okay, you only feel that good all the time because you're not progressing at all. So anyway, the next 5 years is that you need to meditate. And during this meditation process, is intensive meditation in the cave, in the mountain, in the forest, you will run into your own challenges. The deeper part of your psyche that you hid from your teacher so far. The first 5 years, you're willing to share your teacher a lot. Okay, through your action every day, and you learn. Okay, you learn to get rid of those superficial things. And then the next 5 years, when you go into seclusion, Now you face with the deeper attachments, deeper problems that you're not willing to share with your teacher yet, the first 5 years. Okay? And that's why you run into trouble the next 5 years. Before the first 5 years, you say, okay, you're a teacher, I'm the student. In order for me to be here, I do what you tell me to. Fine. That's what you want, I give it to you. But when you go to it in the cave, you don't have to do that anymore. Now you face yourself. Okay? So when you face these problems, you don't know how to deal with it. If you did, you wouldn't come to your teacher in the first place. Okay? But now they surface. So now this monk here had to go back to his teacher and says, I have this problem. I don't know what to do. The teacher says, this is how you fix it. So he came back. He did what, follow instructions. And he figured out more what the instructions meant. Just for example, we have a tantric session. I told my people, do it this way. Do my students this way. After over a month, they still don't get it. I know they don't get it, but there's nothing I can do. Okay? The instructions are designed to point out this problem you have, but they don't get it. If you don't get it, there's nothing I can do. Okay? So he went back and he received instructions and he figured out what the instructions really mean. It's a different ramification of the instructions, because the instruction is always is only the main trunk of the tree. You have to figure out the branches. Okay? The teacher will only give you the trunk. He will not give you the branches. You are supposed to figure out the branches. Okay? And after 5 years, he understood. He had some attainment. So what did he do the next 5 years? Next 10 years? Next 9 years, by the way? Build temples. Okay? So, the fact that this monk came and shared with us his cultivation experience is such a gift, a wonderful gift from him, from the Thai Buddhist tradition. I'm grateful for it. Okay, I cannot express to you again, to all of you, how grateful I was, how happy I was to have that experience with Venerable Sangha, high-level Sangha. I truly admire. Okay. And it's a treat for me personally to be able to see someone from the Hinayana tradition who can reach this level. And then when I look at the picture, the photograph of his teacher, his personal teacher, his main teacher, or his lineage, and I realize his teacher is even better, as a better monk. So, than he is today. The teacher who taught him when he was younger, at that point in time, was better than what Venerable Sangre is today. Isn't it fascinating? Okay. So, anyway, the thing I'm trying to tell you is that you need to have discipline, to me, in order to be able to understand what the teaching is about, what the training is about. Okay, so I'm asking you, what is discipline to you? And it relates to you not only in terms of meditation, also in terms of how do you train your children, how you train your students. You need to teach them about discipline, especially children. Okay, children must be taught discipline. Okay, there you go in. Now, please enlighten us. And now today is very once in a blue moon it would drop in after she could dispose of dispense of her various obligations to the family, to the boyfriend, the love of her life, and her children, her classes. And she would come in and say, "Oh my God, I haven't meditated for so long. Oh my God, it hurts so much. So this is so uncomfortable." Okay, and I wonder, since your profession is to teach, you're an educator. Okay, in your training program, did you learn how to instill discipline and teach discipline to the children, or is it something that's not emphasized at all? You're a math teacher. You're supposed to teach them how to do math. Are you supposed to teach them discipline too or not? That's my question. That's implied, right? Why is it implied? It's the right answer, okay? But why? It's no different from learning meditation and learning or building muscles. They go to class regularly, right? They cannot stop. If they stop, they will miss out on the training program, on the progression of the knowledge you're imparting on them about math. Right? So many teachers would then say they do things to make it interesting for the children to come to class. Okay? Well, that's not very, it only masks. The real need is that you need to instill discipline, make sure that they understand there's a certain self-discipline involved before you can really learn a skill. Acquire knowledge requires discipline. Developing a skill requires discipline. Yes or no? Okay? And then today we also have Tiger Mom. Alicia used to be Tiger Mom when I first met her a few years ago. Now she disguises it so well that you cannot call her Tiger Mom anymore. Okay, but she's still Tiger Mom inside, deep down. Am I correct? No? Am I wrong? Have I known you a few years now, and do I misunderstand you so much, misread you so much, that you're so disappointed that I would call you Tiger Mom when you are not guilty? Are you a Tiger Mom?
I try not to be.
Secretly.
Don't tell my daughter.
Don't tell your daughter. You don't have to. I don't have to. She gets it. She gets it already, all these years. You can call her a lot of things, but she gets it. You cannot call her stupid. Okay? So, how do you instill discipline in your daughter? What is your secret? She's very disciplined. Isn't she? Sometimes.
I think she is.
That's what I see in her. A very disciplined young lady. It's remarkable. Quite an achievement. So I wonder, what is your secret to being a Tiger Mom? Yeah? How did she do it?
I think she learned from me.
Mm-hmm.
And try to be a good example.
Okay. How do you set the example?
Be consistent of what I'm doing. For example, if it's meditation,
Mm-hmm.
she knows that I try to do it every day when I have opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read about it. I will come to the class. You try to come to the class.
Mm-hmm.
every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I think from that and I kind of help her when she have a goal.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of help her.
Mm-hmm.
I hope her that you need to put some hours and efforts to accomplish what she wants to.
Mm.
And I think she understands that.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Don't worry, it goes against his savings account. Okay, very good. Okay, so I'm impressed with Tiana, how disciplined she is, and so how ladylike she is. It's very good. Yeah, I'm very impressed. You did a good job. You should be proud of yourself. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? So, what is discipline here? Okay, discipline from the Chinese and Vietnamese. Discipline is kỷ luật, Chi lü. Okay, chi lü. Kỷ luật là cái gì? I have a Vietnamese expert here, and another Chinese expert back there. So, okay. So, what is kỷ luật? Kỷ luật là cái gì? Vietnamese. You want to go look for your dictionary first? Kỷ luật là cái gì?
Follow the rules strictly.
Okay. Miss Taiwanese, Miss Taiwan, what is Ji Lu? What she says? So this, the Vietnamese is correct? The Chinese has nothing to add? Religiously. Okay. But what if you have a boy that keeps on making demands? How do you train children to have discipline?
I think you draw a line and don't let them cross over and be consistent. Because I know like children, they try to push the limit.
Okay. How about we have an ex-captain of the famous Vietnamese armed forces who lost the war? Defeated. How did you learn about discipline? How do you train discipline in your soldiers?
We have tradition say that discipline is the strength of the army.
Yes.
So it applies to all the video. So that's the right one will involve.
Why is discipline a strength of the army? Why is it?
Because everyone has to sacrifice the weakness of the body or the mind. So follow the trend rigorously, and they will go to the end of the trend.
Why do they say that discipline is a strength of the army? Why? Can you explain to me in simple terms that I can understand? Why is it a strength? It's true. It's correct. Discipline is strength of the army. That's why they train. Boot camp and the training soldier is a training of discipline, right? They emphasize that. Why? You're a young man, you never will get enlisted. So why is discipline the strength?
I think we need to work on that. It's because we live in a big community with everybody coming together.
Okay, Sinche, why discipline the strength of the army?
They have to, be able to follow the order so they can all work together towards some common goal. And usually they have to do things that they don't necessarily want to do that are difficult. So they take
Yes. Why? Yes. Why is it strength, Xian Why is it strength?
Because anyone can get the strongest skills, so make it more strength to live with it.
You can express when you understand. It's the strength comes in numbers. Make sense? The more, the stronger. So you keep all the soldiers aligned together. That's strength right there. It's very hard to move that big number, to attack that big number. Make sense? It's that simple. The heavier it is, the more it is, the harder it is to disperse it, to attack it, to weaken it, right? So the disciplined soldier is that even though you're shot at, even though you're dying, you still stand there until you ordered otherwise. All of you are lined up in the same direction, doing the same thing, attacking. Okay? You agree or disagree? I've never commanded soldiers before. So this is only theory from my part. Okay? Not from personal experience. I never liked to be a soldier anyway. I only like to be generals. Without having to be a soldier. Okay? So there's real strength in numbers. So you make sure these people are lined up. And follow the orders. Okay? That is strength. It's very hard to combat, very hard to defeat. Okay? What is discipline to the individual then? We're talking about many people, right? So we're talking, numbers. But what about the individual? How does the individual have discipline? So how would you define a person who has discipline then? Yes.
Being able to focus on tasks.
Okay, very good. But that's concentration. Do you call it discipline? It's concentration. That's what you're describing.
Yes.
Yes.
They do things that need to be done, regardless whether they want, they like it.
Well, they do what needs to be done. Yes, Ian, how do you teach your student discipline? You don't know.
Doing classwork and having them consistently going back and
Okay. How do you discipline? You're young. How do you train yourself to be disciplined? Yes.
Listen to the instruction and try to do it as much as I can.
As much as you can. No, that's not discipline. You see, these young people, they have a way to wiggle themselves out. I do as much as I can, meaning that, I don't like it anymore. I can't do it anymore. These wimps. This is how young people think, right, Ian? I mean, the children say, I like her. I like my teacher and everything, but, this is so much I can do. Yes, what's discipline then? I will put discipline here Okay, in just two simple aspects. Number one is that you stay within the bounds. Agree? You cannot go beyond the bounds given to you. There's no discipline if you go all over. There's only bounds. We all have boundaries. Right? Discipline here has a concept of boundary. Number one. Agree or disagree? Okay? You don't move. You don't make noise. You don't cry. You don't scream. That's boundaries. Okay? And the number two is you don't quit. Whatever the reasons you come up with, you don't quit. Okay? So, if you teach your child discipline, do you argue with your child? When you teach your soldiers discipline, do you argue with them? What do? You shoot them when you don't follow the orders, right? Look at him, look at his face. Right? They get punished.
We accept argument just for the way and complain. And sometimes we have a right to shoot them if they are accurate.
That's why now he's a monk. He kills so many soldiers. So, you don't argue. Okay? You say, this is my expectation of you. These are the rules, these are the boundaries, and you're supposed to do it until the end. Until I tell you to stop. That's discipline. Am I correct? You don't disobey my orders. You disobey my orders, that's not discipline. Okay? So there's time in your education, in your teaching your children or teaching your students, you need to teach them about discipline. You need to lay out the rules. You have the boundaries. Okay? You are not supposed to cross. If you cross, you get punished. Okay? It's not you cannot argue about it. This is the rule. This is my rules. This is the house rules. This is Tiger Mom's rules. It may not be the best, but these are my rules. Don't like it? Go to your stepmom. Okay? Right? If you like that, the soldiers will perform, won't they? The good ones will perform. The bad ones, we shoot them. We don't need bad soldiers. The good soldiers will follow the orders. Okay, and this is how you screen out, you weed out the students. Okay, you won't be able to teach everyone. If you teach them that, then they can succeed not in just math, but in just any kind of subject. And that's what I believe all you teachers need to instill in your students through your subject matter. Okay? Teach them about rules, teach them about not quitting. No matter how difficult it is. Okay? No matter how whimsical they become. You know? And just like children, they're going to throw tantrums, they're going to make noises, they're going to scream, they're going to cry. You know. Okay, that's what they do. We don't argue. Okay? Why should they change? They change because you have one thing over them that most of them 95% of them that 95% will go your way. What is it? Ian, what is it? It's not the whip, because you can't whip them, as far as I know. What is it? Why does he know so well? The one thing we have, your teacher have, you parents have, is approval. Children yearn for approval from the parents, from the teachers. And that's the one thing you have over them. They seek approval from figures of authority. Okay? If you're with the armed forces and you use that weapon of approval, people will die for you. Not because they're afraid of you, because they want your approval. The more powerful you are, the more you can leverage your approval to get your subordinates to do things for you. It's strength to give you the power of approval. And you know, many of you spend your entire adult life seeking approval from authority figures. Okay? Questions and comments? And if you have no questions, comments, we can go to lunch. Questions and comments? See, I give you guys a break. Maybe we get you to talk about the DRBU meditation manual next time. If you're curious, I asked the bhikshus to look into the drbu.org resources, meditation manual, handbook, whatever they call it. They have a 28-page manual on meditation. You may want to read it to give yourself some information and maybe come up with some questions that might